Hello, everybody. Welcome to That Checks Out. I am Ted, one side, two double kicks, two double L's, Wilson. Over there is the star of our show, Damon, two C's in Paracchio. And on all the recording stuff, this doesn't seem to care if it works or not, our producer, sound check, the guy that owns the building, I guess, Brian, Big Mac.
Hey. Yeah, Brian. Big Mac.
Hey.
No double letters.
No. Well,
by the way, both C's in Paracchio actually do something. So it's not like the second one's silent. So, yeah.
I wish one of the Paracchios was silent.
Talking about my brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I understand.
You nailed it. Nailed it. How'd your fantasy football thing go?
I'd rather not talk about it. Started off very promising, and I'd rather not talk about it. Thank you.
Tears partway through, huh? Did you?
Huh? Well, let's just say I'd rather not talk about it.
That's something you want to reflect on yet? Is that
No. I'm still absorbing it. It's still. What about you, Mister? I traveled out of town for work.
Certainly did.
Yeah?
Yeah. We're going to leave that out of town.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So 2 awesome weeks.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I noticed, yeah. It was
14
very
days of
Damon
nothing.
heavy last week. Yeah, I noticed that.
Damon's very heavy last week? What did you say?
No, not just last week. Why are we qualifying that? Yeah. Quantifying? Whatever. Why are we defying that?
Your chair is sweating. What is it? What's happening?
Yeah, we did decide that, after these like hot weeks, that Brian just needs to push these chairs out. You're not going to need more than 4 chairs, Brian. You're going to need 6.
Yeah. Yeah. You might have to have an exorcism. There might have to be an exorcism of these chairs. Oh, yeah, you got stools over there, too. How come we don't get offered stools, man?
Do you want to sit 40 feet above the microphones?
A little bit. A little bit, I do.
I do. Where did those stools come from? Like, is that from the Brady house? Like, where did you get those?
It goes back to Brian's, that's what he murders chickens in. That goes back to last week.
I don't want to talk about it last week. I certainly don't want to talk about it this week.
Those are from the 70s.
No, I can tell.
Yeah.
We're from the 70s.
The chickens? Yeah.
No.
We know 70s. We've seen it.
Yeah.
We saw it live, Brian.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't remember a whole lot of 70s, though. What was that,
Don't
4?
ruin it now. Yeah,
4 when they were over. Yeah. 80s. And you know, the 90s might even been better, but I think it's just because of my age.
Well, you notice, like, music compilations, if you get, like, the best of the 80s, it's, like, 80 to 84.
Yeah.
And 90s is, like, 95 to 99. It's like, where's the music, like, that was, like, right in our, like, wheelhouse?
Yeah.
The 85 to 94 area.
That's it's
our
in the
junior
dumpster.
high and our high school, what's where it should be. But
it's in the dumpster. So
like playlists or anything. I can't find any of that music for probably good reason.
Well, there's no playlist. It was mixtapes.
Well, I mean, like now there's playlists. You can go to like
Right.
streaming, but all the 90s stuff is literally like stuff from after we left high school, and all the 80s stuff is before we went into junior high. Like they're just trying to wipe us off the map.
And what's awesome is everything that was happening that time, we're like, this is the best music ever. Yeah. This is going to last forever. I can't believe my mom listens to Elvis and Kenny Rogers and the Oak Ridge Boys.
It'll never be around.
Those are bands that are never going to make it, you know? I'm sure glad I got this trickster tattoo. This is going to come in handy someday. Well, and since I am the love child of Joe Dirt and a Bon Jovi cassette, the cassette would be from that time frame.
Yeah.
So that
is it one of those like metal ones that remember those like the?
Oh yeah, those were yeah. Do you remember the commercial with I think it was Memorex or Maxell where the guy sat in the chair, turned that wall of speakers on, and then boom, his ties flying back and everything. Yeah, and you saw that, you're like, oh, that's so awesome. I bet that's real. If I get one of those tapes, it'll sound that loud. No. Is it
false. Real or is it Memorex or something like that?
Yeah, it was false. They were all mixtapes. You'd put a sticker on it. You'd break up with her. You'd record over that one. You'd put another sticker on it. Next thing you know, you couldn't shut the tape deck door because there's 14 stickers on the damn tape.
Either way, it's too darn loud.
Yeah.
And
those kids are on your lawn
Brian,
again.
I don't want your snickering over there. You don't know the hardships of trying to record something off of a radio.
Oh, like waiting?
And the DJ would suddenly be like, oh, by the way, everybody, I'm going to talk into the first 40 seconds of this music.
Yeah. And
you're like, I hit the tail end of that.
You're like Bobby McFerrin has started singing Don't Worry, Be Happy. And it's 8:30. I'm supposed to be asleep. I got to turn way down. Oh, is it going to record good if I turn it down? I don't know because I'm not a DJ, and then you're doing it. Then you get up the next morning, you're like, it's not recorded very loud. Oh, yeah, that's right because I didn't have it up very loud.
Well, I know there's songs. I know you don't like.
You?
Yes, I know that.
Okay, just checking.
Like Guns N' Roses, but some of their songs have like a really good intro. That's the only part of the song you really want to hear is like the beginning part, and that's the part the DJ is always talking over.
It was like Casey Kasem. I like the ringtone that I have.
Well, this
Great.
episode's
I know the
getting pulled.
NFL. Yeah, I was just say I know the NFL does not
Yeah.
copyright strike at all. We should be fine.
We should be fine. They're
What's
going
that
to play.
thing that they say about express written consent?
I consent.
Yeah, I'll expressly write consent somewhere. Sure.
Yeah. Hey, when you don't turn the ringer off on your phone, stuff happens. All right.
Now that you say that, I should check mine.
I was going to say, I'm waiting for Ted to first watch.
Hey, we
and
just
start
walked
talking.
in this week and started recording. That was our problem.
Yeah.
We didn't have any preface time.
I was
so-
not. I was not ready for that.
No.
I was not ready for that.
But that song sounds like there's a Christmas song that kind of sounds like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like every time I hear the NFL one, I'm like, is it Christmas? Oh no, it's just NFL.
Oh no, I always, if I heard the Christmas one, I'd be like, is that the NFL?
NFL?
And
Yeah,
then
I
I'd
know.
be disheartened.
We're on the
I'd
other
be like,
side.
oh yeah. Say so nothing cool happened this week that we're willing to talk about.
Well, no, I mean, I did want to try out my thing, and since I was in a different state, I figured I would. I have this thing where I think that we should all be able to carry squirt guns filled with water. I don't want anything gross, just lukewarm water. Doesn't have to be nasty. But anyone who's wearing a mask incorrectly, I think we should just be able to shoot them right in the nose. And then when they get upset, be like, no, see, now you know why the mask is wrong. Like I've just explained to you with science why you should wear that mask above your nose.
Well, I don't know that squirt gun qualifies as science.
Oh, it's science.
it's that science.
Yeah, I checked with Bill Nye. It's fine.
Right. I got him on retainer. I gave him a shout. I was like, hey, Billy. So I take it there's a lot of people not wearing masks.
I went to Iowa, so sure. I
Yeah.
went to some state.
Yeah.
So sure.
Yeah. Well, I told you when we talked about state, I'm done I'm done in Iowa. So you can.
Yeah, I
you
have to
go ahead.
represent that checks out for the entire state now.
Correct. Yeah. I and again, for both listeners in Iowa, I don't know how many states, but we're in like 24 states, 25 states.
25 states, 3 countries.
That's pretty awesome.
I still think if someone's using a VPN to hide where they're at, saying they're in India. 'cause-
Either that or I mean, how awesome are we that like that guy
Yeah.
has the only.
Maybe
Do
it's
you
one
think are we like maybe we're bootlegged in India? Like maybe there's like they're like selling CDs. They're still burning CDs.
There's Teed and Damon out
Yeah.
there doing. Check that out in India.
It's like when the losing team from the Super Bowl gets all their T-shirts sent over there. They get our podcast.
I don't remember Buffalo winning any.
Oh man,
that picture was not taken in the domestic
that
United
team
States.
was great because I got their shirt 4 years in a row. What a quality team, man.
Look at that, Big Mac. I pulled out an NFL reference.
Hey, you should try harder. You have Google. Do you have internet today?
Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
Cool.
It's pretty sweet.
What if I need you to look up something?
I could probably manage.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, you know what was nice? I was able to pull straight into your parking lot today. I don't know why I was. Was that like planned with the Public Works last week, where neither Damon and I could get into the parking lot?
It's part of the restraining order Mac has. He's like, okay, you guys, you're gonna have to park the trucks.
He probably went out and he was like, "You need to block the parking lot and the street." I told you.
Yeah, it's 100 yards. They can't get that
These guys
close.
have seen the Dukes of Hazzard. They just wheelied right up on the building. They don't even care.
Total disregard for rental cars.
Here's your key.
Hey, so this week, I will tell you, there's a lot of. I got caught up on reality shows. Okay.
Oh, did you?
So that's why I really haven't accomplished a whole lot of anything else. But I got caught up on reality shows. That being said, I watched 90 Day Fiance with my wife.
Sure, I know
Okay.
you watch it. I'm
With my
skeptical.
wife.
I'm skeptical if your wife's involved.
With my wife. So, well,
So just so you can pick where you're going on Epcot next time you get to go, right?
3 countries down.
Right.
Right. Might be
I
4.
listen to the podcast. I don't participate much in it, but I listen to it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I've taken it in a couple. Yeah. Whatever. I subscribe. Whatever. It's all good.
I let it download. Sure.
Yeah, I let it download. I like this guy Ted when he talks. I like what he has to say.
Oh, I perk right up.
Yeah.
That guy sounds handsome.
But no, we've been watching that. But I've been tuned in. There's a new show. First, they caught up on a show that I did like. The premise was undercover billionaire, not millionaire, billionaire, and it was the financial institution Stearns. Okay, they're huge,
Right.
And it's Glenn Stearns, the owner, the CEO, the CFO, whatever he is, the big coup de grace, right? So he took $100 and an old pickup truck and
Wait, did he buy your truck?
yeah. No, because I wanted 2,000. He didn't have enough. So, but he had like an old Chevy Dually, right? And probably like a mid 90s, Okay, so about the time that our hits would have come out, right? So he probably had the CD
Right,
loaded
they're
in there.
wiping the music off the map. Sure.
Right. But what he did is he took $100 in that truck and no contacts. He had another like a phone they gave him, and so he would go on social media, Facebook, whatever in the area, and he tried to turn $100 into $1 million business in 90 days.
This actually sounds interesting.
Okay, so two reasons. I thought it was interesting because first I had a teenager when this started at 18 and a half, 19 years old, and I thought he's got a truck. So I thought we're going to watch his show. He has contacts. He has stuff that Glenn didn't give himself. He doesn't have a film crew making sure he's not getting murdered at night while he's in Erie, Pennsylvania, which is where this is taped, right?
That's eerie.
Right. So anyway, short story long, the show goes the whole way, and they value his business, what he built. He built a barbecue business after he did other stuff. He flipped a house. He did all kinds of stuff in this time to make the money to move up. They valued his business at like $750,000, $780,000. So he didn't make $1 million. But he said if he didn't have a business worth $1 million, he was going to take $1 million of his own money, put it into it anyway. Okay. And then he employed so much of the town. But what was neat is he went in with no money, so he can't pay people. So he goes and finds a lady who does like interior design, and she has her own shop where she makes stuff. Like, and so he wants to put her stuff in houses, and he wants her to design that. She inevitably ends up designing this restaurant and la la. So it's kind of neat how they put this whole. He found a guy that did T-shirts, same thing. And they're going all around, and these people start working because he motivates them. So I'm watching this with my son, hoping that he sees, hey, I have a truck. I have more than $100. I could go on here and find out, okay, I need to go buy a lawnmower now with $150. I need to go over and cut lawns and make money this way and do this. He was scrapping tires. I mean, it was crazy. So they just did a callback to say, where are they now? Because, of course, the whole thing got spoiled. He hey, this is who I really am, la, la, la.
Right.
He comes back, and the business is going. Now they're franchising it. I mean, it's just crazy. But he's got this, like, this whole town is most people are intertwined to this thing in some way, shape, or form. So it's really neat to see that. Well, the show right after it is called I Quit. And it's people that are... Did
your son get more inspiration
I was
from
going to
this
say,
show?
yeah, no, he did not watch that with me. But the odd thing is, when you're not working, you can't follow that premise anyway. So that just so you know what I'm saying? It's
I will say though, we both have cars and vehicles.
Yeah.
We both are starting an enterprise.
Yeah.
It has been more than 90 days.
Yeah.
We're not close.
No. So far, we have hemorrhaged money and have not made a nickel. If they put a value on this, it would be a bill.
It'd just be a single teardrop.
Right. But yeah.
Sometimes when you back me up, Brian, it hurts more than you think.
Yeah. It really stung me because I feel like we determined last week, Ted's like, this is the best idea Damon's ever had. It's in my demo. It's in my bio. Hey, this is the best idea I've ever had. La la. Yeah, by the way, it sucks, Damon, because you're so far.
So I'm really interested in hearing about the story called I Quit now.
So the I Quit thing is basically people then that now they've realized that their side hustle, okay, is becoming so time consuming that for them to make it lucrative and for them to, actually see an advancement in it, they're going to have to go in and quit the comfort.
They got a leap of faith here.
They have to take a leap of faith. And what's weird is the two guys that I really liked immediately on there, they quit big time jobs because they have a cooler company, right?
Wait, their company is cooler than the one they do, or they have a company that makes coolers?
No, they have a company that makes coolers. I think it's Blue Coolers is what they're called. So, like right after they do that, because of course this is filmed already, right? Right after they do that is when their coolers are made in China and they had the tariff of like 25% in it.
Oh no!
Oh man! So I'm watching this and I'm just like, wow. So you don't think about it. I mean, I'm someone. I have a side hustle, but it's a small side hustle. And right now it's a non-existent side hustle because flipping houses right now ain't going. Because guess what? They're selling for a premium.
You might want to go flip some flappies.
Yeah. Flip some flappies outside in the hundo, in the 100-degree temperature.
In a biscuit over a hundo.
Yeah. But hey, there's people that do that. So you got an audience. Yeah. We saw that last week. But what I realize is like you would have to be going so good and have such a steady stream of, where you're like, I don't have enough hours in the day to live, before you could do that. So that's a huge leap of faith.
Yeah, and now this Undercover Billionaire, is that what it was called?
It was called Undercover Billionaire.
Is it a spin-off of Undercover Boss, or just they using
No,
a similar name?
So I thought when I first saw it, I'm like, well, it's going to be Undercover, because I liked Undercover Boss a lot.
Yeah.
Some of those people I couldn't figure out how they couldn't figure out this wasn't the guy.
Right.
I really think that they like downplayed it and
Well,
said, no,
it's
you
the same
can't.
people that live in the DC Comics world where they're like, is that Superman? No, he's wearing glasses.
Right.
Can't be. Can't be. Doesn't even have a cape. you dummy.
Guy's driving the Batmobile, but he don't have the suit on. So I'm pretty sure there's no way that Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, Bruce
is
Wayne must be
Batman.
just borrowing the Batmobile.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. He must have repoed it.
Yeah.
But no, that's what I thought it was going to be. But then when I saw the premise of it, I thought, because it's the guy gambling on himself, but you got to figure the business he runs that he started,
Yeah.
and where it is now.
I think it's amazing though, because usually those people, when they get to that level, they don't have that hustle, they don't have that drive anymore. They're relying on other people. They just say like, snap their fingers and it happens.
Right.
Because I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could go in and legitimately, he knows that at the end of the day, he can get those people money if he has to.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
He
But
can compensate anybody for their time. You're right.
Right.
You're
But I can't walk in and be like, hey, I know that if you give me this stuff for free, that 90 days from now I can repay your effort. Or, you know what I mean? Like he had to go in and convince those people, sell himself on what he was going to do so they would give this. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I presume that's what he did. He went in and said, hey, I know what you're doing. I don't have any money for you right now, but if you do this, let's work something out.
Right.
It was a lot of hustling like that.
It really was. And he's hustling with people that are already like, they're
already
behind on stuff. So now you're saying, you know, like you and me, we go to work. We don't do podcasting for a living because we just decided it's not lucrative. We know that,
Right?
But it's not even that. It's the fact of we have families, and we have, you know, you have a certain lifestyle. Some people have a great lifestyle on not a great income. Some people have a not so great lifestyle on a wonderful income. You know, it depends on how you live your life, but you got to have that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't think I would have I don't think I could
The
go
ambition,
in.
the drive.
Well, I have the ambition to drive. I just don't know if I could go in and sell someone else on that. Be like, hey, I want to take your dreams with me for a minute. I promise you your dreams are coming back. You know what I mean? I
See, but I think you could. I really...
could I convince someone to do it?
Correct.
Yes. Could I actually...
Could you deliver on it?
Could I deliver on it, or would I feel good about...
Right.
Would the stress eat me alive that now I'm putting someone else on my back and being like, hey, we're going to do it?
Correct.
I don't know if I could do it. I just don't know if I have that kind of...
Yeah.
No, that's why I'm impressed. Like, well, again... He knew he could do it.
Well, you got to figure he's a top-notch salesman because of what he does.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going in and he's selling himself. But like you're right, the energy, which has to be there, you know, but you know what everybody kept asking him? They're like, you got to slow down. You're going too fast. You're going too fast. He can't tell them why he has to go so fast.
Right.
Okay, this is a gamble he made with himself. Now, I hate to say it, when you're a billionaire, his company, I'm assuming his net worth is several hundred million. His company, you know, Stearns is and I think that's what it's called. It's a financial institution if you Google it. But his name's Glenn Stearns. And he seems like a really down-to-earth guy, which is cool because you got to think he's got more money than he'll ever know what to do with.
Right.
You know? But what I'm saying is from a charisma standpoint, from a, you know, getting people motivated and this and that, when they're already fighting to pay their bills and this and that, now all their businesses are flourishing. Because even people that saw stuff on the news, they want to go see this girl's store now. You know what I mean? They watch the show on TV now when they go through Pennsylvania. Like we stopped and got a sandwich because we're like, you got to go here when you go here. Well, if anybody drives within 50 miles of there, they go, oh, we could jump off and go see that. And we could go buy something from her store. So she's making out. She's even said that on the show when they did the reunion thing that she's really benefited from that. And she's like doubled in size of what she's doing and this and that. And they're all shareholders of the barbecue business. So, like I said, it's really neat, but like he wanted to do microbrewery. He couldn't get a license. And then he said, but he's got to have beer where he's at. So he went and found local breweries that said, we want to showcase your stuff on tap at our barbecue place. So you provide it, we'll sell, you know what I mean? So he didn't have to pay for the beer. You follow what I'm saying?
The people that bought the beer, that money went straight to the people that produced the beer.
Correct.
And that guy was just a place for
Correct.
it was
You bring a barrel and put it in.
Yeah.
When I need more, I call you. You bring it in. I pay you for the barrels as I use them. You know.
I understand that concept, but how did he tell the interior designer that they were going to get paid?
He didn't. He said, "You got to trust me." And they flipped the house, and she saw the money come from flipping the house. And he's like, "Now I got to buy this restaurant here." There was an old building where you could put the restaurant, and I think it was a restaurant at some point in time, but it was severely dated. And he's like, I need you to do this. She's like, I'm flipping a house and you want me to design a restaurant? And he's like, yeah. You know, so, and like I said, everybody's telling him to slow down.
I bet his energy and his drive and his desire was infectious.
Well, that's the whole thing. And that's what I'm saying. So you could do this because you'd be the same way. I hate to say it. If I get that Tony Danza look in the headlights, right? Your face is priceless. Mac?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, he's saying if he sees Tony Danza and he just freezes.
I glaze over. I'm like, man, that could be me someday.
That's Tony Danza.
You know what I mean? So, but when I get that look, okay, if I can put that on people and take it, people will feed off of that. And I know even what I do now, if I go in and I have a bad day, people around me have a bad day. And it's not fair to them, but I can't always be a smiling clown. And that's not even at work. That could be at home. That could be anywhere, you know?
It's funny though. It's
You're
weird.
the same way.
Well, when I don't mind doing it. Like I've told people that I don't mind. I can be the life of the party or I can be the background. I can be the sidekick apparently. And I don't mind.
Well, it's marginal, but
right,
okay.
I can barely be the sidekick.
Yeah.
But I can pop in and out. What I hate is when people want me to do it on demand.
Right.
Like I was in Iowa and there was someone from Zanies who was getting a new job and they were training out in Iowa and they're like, hey, let's meet. So we went to a bar. We're hanging out. They told that person, hey, we work at a comedy club. And the guy's
be
like,
funny.
Yeah, the guy's like, well, do something right now. I'm like, that's not the place. I don't feel like doing that. There's like 8 people in there. The only 2 people that were not workers were me and the other person from Zanies. He's like, well, be funny. I'm like, no, I'm not here for that. I'm here for my regular job. I'm here just hanging out.
Yeah.
We're having one drink. I'm going back to my hotel to go to bed so I can get up and go. And would just not let it go. And I hate that.
Yeah.
Like if I walk into a place and I just want to have fun and goof around and that leads to me being funny, that's fun.
Right.
If someone's like poking you with a stick and is like, hey. And so that's the thing is like, I don't, just because we do this every week doesn't mean I walk into every building thinking I'm the star of my own life. You know what I mean? Like
Same here. I totally
But people
get it.
expect that because they're like, oh, and you're just having a regular day. If you ever get this, you're just having a regular day. You're just doing your job. You got a lot of stuff to do. So you're just trying to get from A to Z before the clock runs out. Like you're racing the clock all day because you know you have a lot of stuff to do.
Right.
And they're like, oh, what's wrong? Why are you having a bad day?
Right.
I'm not having a bad day. I'm just trying to be productive. Yeah. And I have so much stuff. I don't have time to, be your, like you said, be your clown today. I apologize that my having to get work done is suddenly bringing you down. But yeah, I'm sure you get that a lot.
No, I get perceived as being in a bad mood when I'm not being joking and funny. And I won't say funny. I get funny sounds arrogant, but entertaining, okay? Because that's what you do. You're entertaining with your buddies. You might say something or do something, somebody chuckles, and then they might even have a funnier thing off of it, but you started it. You instigated it. I don't instigate. If I'm, like you said, if I'm working or if I'm on a one track, I've been doing a lot of training and different stuff too. I mean, I've been doing a lot of training for my real estate license and stuff. I want that. So, and that, I feel like that's like the death of me right now. At 44 years old, I don't know how people go back to college. You know what I mean? Because I see that and I don't know how they go back and make that their full-time focus. Or it's a full-time focus on top of a full-time job.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that. I applaud them. This is just learning real estate terminology and stuff like that and kind of knowing how it works. And the problem that I'm finding is I can be really great for like 4 or 5 days and I'm on it. And like if I was to go take the test right then, I'd ace it. If you give me 7 days of life in between there, the life stuff is more important and smashes the other stuff out of my brain. You know what I mean? And it's just crazy. But then you start singing a song from the 80s that opened a theme show that I used to, a show that I used to watch. And I go, oh, I know those words. And I sing along with you. And meanwhile, the real estate stuff is gone. Right. So I can't, you get to a certain point, and that's when I go into a day, I want people to smile. My number one thing is if I can make somebody smile, I feel good. It's selfish, but it does help other people.
You should try that when you come in here every now and then.
Yeah. Mac, smile.
I thought he was asleep. I legitimately thought he was asleep just now. He was.
I can see his thumbs.
He was looking so far down. I thought he was out. I went for training. Like I had a place that went training. We went 1 week, and then like maybe 6 weeks later, we all went back except for a few of us. Now the first week was about dealing with people and personalities and just overall leadership stuff I've done forever. So I wasn't really that like, oh, I need to learn this. Mm-hmm. So I'm just having a good time. It was about, like I said, it was about learning personalities, learning how to deal with other people. So I'm trying to open people, get people to open up, get people to like brighten up. So I'm goofing around. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm still, because you know how I am. I won't take it too far. I respect the people running the place. I try to keep it fun, but also respectful.
Right.
The next time we go back, it's about the nuts and bolts of the business and how the business expects you to make money and how it expects you to, because I'm a manager of a business.
So you're learning that.
You're learning.
You're absorbing that time.
Yeah, so that's the one I want to be interested in because I know how to do that stuff, but I want to know your methods, what you expect, what you want from me, like every Friday, or what you want from me. So that's I'm paying attention. We're in day 2, and suddenly, like halfway through, and they're like, "Ted, this is boring. Why don't you liven it up?" I'm like, "That's not what I'm here for." Like, I'm sorry. That's what I mean. I get that is my fault that was the image that's what the first impression I gave last time we were here.
Yeah,
but that's not me 24/7.
Right.
And I was like, look, no, I want to pay attention to this. Like the last one, if I caused any of you guys not to learn stuff because of my attitude, I apologize for that. But it was more about feelings and emotions and dealing with, other people and how do you get people to work as a group and work as a team. It was team building.
It was the fluff.
Yeah. This one's more hey, this is like
the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, this is what, if you don't do this, you're out in your butt.
Right.
And I didn't take offense to it, but I was just like, have you guys been waiting for that for 2 days? Because guess what? It's not coming.
Yeah.
Like we're going to all hang out after this because we're all here at, in hotels for 3 days. Like we can do that then, but time and place.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Like you said, it's on demand.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's like on demand. It's like dance for me, clown. And it's like, listen,
I don't dance anyway.
Yeah. I would love to, I'd love to be able to do that first of all, but
dance? Yeah. Or just like, that's your job. Like your job is just
to make people
entertainment.
I'd love to make people happy. That's why people laugh when I moved to Florida. My part-time job I want is to work at Disney. And the main reason is because people go there to have a good time. They know they're going to spend a lot of money. They know they're going to stand in lines. They know they're going to do this. They know they're going to do that. But guess they're there to have fun. So if I can help facilitate that, whether that's I gave you directions and I made your kid smile, whether that's this or that, you know what I mean? That would make my day. Let alone the fringe benefits of working there is, you mean I get to go to the park whenever I want to because I'm an employee?
Oh, now it's all about you. I figured it out.
But what I'm saying is, so there's other stuff that comes with it. That's awesome. But like the feeling you can't duplicate. When you're on stage and you're hitting and you're like, man, they're laughing. Like I'm actually pausing because they're laughing. This is fun.
Wait, let me get some notes. This sounds sounds like it's important.
People pause. When does that happen?
What's this laughter you speak of?
But you know exactly what I'm saying. It's hard to duplicate.
Well, that's why a lot of comedians they go.
It's
down
a rush.
They go down the hole of drinking and drugs because once they leave the stage, none of that's there anymore.
Right.
And that is their main thing. Like that's not my main thing. My main thing is not the rush. It's the.
Right.
I mean, I do like to make people have fun, but when I leave the stage, I know that's for the stage. Like I don't need that 24/7. That's why a lot of the big comedians that we've known of have crashed and burned because they look for the drugs to make that happen, and that's a sad state.
Yeah, but you can't. That's what it takes to duplicate that feeling.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing. If I could just turn that on all the time and do it, that would be just a steady rush of adrenaline that I couldn't even imagine what kind of energy that would give me in the rest of my life. I really can't because there's days where. Last week I talked about where I had to go take the car, at night and this and that. And you do that stuff and then you're just beat. And then you have a plan for the next morning, but it doesn't happen because your night didn't go the way it did. And it just starts, it doesn't spiral out of control, but you're not in control anymore.
Right.
And so same thing, when I'm at work and I have stuff happen, I'm not in control. And I realize probably we're never really in control, but you do feel like it at times.
Right.
Well,
that's you like them or hate them, and I'm not going to debate you or anyone else about late night talk show hosts, but they have to do that 5 nights a week. They have to get up, have that same energy. We don't know what their day was like. We don't know what happened.
Right.
And like I said, some people, they're not everyone's cup of tea, but they're out there doing a show every night.
Well, and the personalities they're dealing with that they have to keep in check.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and
wow.
Just imagine, like they do have to be on every single night, whether they want to or not. Because if they're not, it's easily just to show them the door. Be like, goodbye, we'll get someone else.
Correct. They'll find somebody that'll be energetic, and if that person's done in 2.5 years, then they'll find somebody else, and they'll find somebody else. But even like the eccentric people that come in there that they're sitting and talking to, that you know that they didn't have any brown M&Ms in their bowl, and they wanted, they couldn't have water bottles that twist off to the left. They have to twist off to the right, otherwise they're sending them back, and this and that. When you see that stuff, and then they still have to come out there and be like, yeah, so this prick is backstage. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
I always felt like if I ever got famous, not anymore, but back in the day, it would be like my writer would just be like, whatever. Like, whatever you got in your green room, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't understand. I know some people do it to make sure, like if you do it on tour or ever, like at a concert tour, they put weird stuff in there to make sure you're reading the other stuff. Like a lot of them have like safety concerns because they're doing like pyrotechnics or they're doing like, harness shows or whatever. I get they're putting the little stuff in there to make sure they're reading the big stuff.
Right.
But for me, it'd literally be like, could you just maybe have some tea in there? You know what I mean? Like,
if we're having cantaloupe and spaghetti, that's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't need, I don't, there has to be a Hershey's bar. There has to be a power energy drink. There has to be, no.
Then the UPC or the date on the Hershey's bar cannot end in 9. Just stuff like that.
The car that drives me there, the DOT numbers cannot be more than 6 months old or it's going to need new tires. Yeah. I mean, you can't
I want to
do
know
that.
what it takes. I mean, there's got to be a reason why people have this. What does it take for you to put in your stuff that you can't look me in the eye? Like, how many people have you heard like that? Like you go to someone's show where you like, don't look them in the eye. You can't acknowledge them. Like what has gotten you to that point where that's what it is? Because it's clearly that wasn't day 1.
Right.
That wasn't day 400. I mean, that was some day where they finally just got sick of people like gawking at them or staring at them or something. Like I don't ever want to get to that point.
But
not that we ever will, but you know what I mean? Like I would never as a human want to get to that point.
How are you better than somebody to tell them that?
That's what I understand. Like something had to have happened to make you make that thing. And I guess if you're some people, like every time you walk outside of your bubble, people are like in your face.
Yeah.
That's got to happen. But
when I was younger, I wanted that. I wanted
the recognition everywhere.
You know what? I wanted the fame and the fortune. And now that I'm older.
You just want the fortune?
Yeah. I want part of the fortune. I do. I really do. Mac, you're younger than me. Do you want fame and fortune?
No.
You want fortune, right?
Yeah.
And when I say fortune, I think I want a level of comfort, which, what's weird for me is going back to that show, I Quit, okay, is I have that level of comfort and then some. Now, I'm not bragging because it's my lifestyle. I don't live above my means. I live very much below my means for the fact of if I then want to take a vacation, I didn't spend my money here, and here. So I can take a vacation and still be money ahead where other people are like, I saved for 4 years to go. I get that. But we just live different lifestyles. And you might make more, they might make more money than me.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, so the level of comfort has arrived for me to where I'm blessed that in my mid 40s, right? Not early, it's mid 40s now.
Yeah.
So
someone listens to the podcast.
But in my mid 40s, to feel that comfortable, to feel that little bit of relief. So now, I hate to say it, what I look for no more now is happiness. Because see, it's weird because when you achieve something, then you go, you don't go, I'm there, and you just relax. Yeah. You go, now I need something else. Well, now I want happiness. Now I want to make sure that I don't hate my life every day, but I'm comfortable, And this brings me happiness doing this. Not last week, 2 weeks ago, sure didn't. I did not feel good, and I apologize last week for that episode. But that's the first time to me, and I was talking to Ed on the phone.
Did it feel like
prior
work?
to, and that I felt like work.
Yeah.
But you know what's weird is I told myself, because even when I came, because that was the weekend where we went and did Gina First on Saturday. We did that podcast. Right. And then we did ours on Sunday. And I was not feeling well on Saturday, but I got progressively worse on Sunday. And I said, that was the first day where I'm like, but if I was going to work this morning, I would go to work because that's how I am.
Right.
So I said, I'm going to do this. We need to put out material because the other thing is, I hate to say it, we're trying to grow this. So if you don't do stuff, you're forgotten about.
Right.
When it's not out next Monday or the following Monday, people go, oh, well, they must be done, or it's not there, and you're forgotten about.
Right. And you're right. I think that was because we did the one and then we did the other, and we did it, like early on the one day and then later the next day. It felt like just one big.
It did. It felt like a marathon.
Yeah.
But
it was important. We needed to go. I mean, I would love to do other people's podcasts if anyone's listening and wants to bring us on.
I would love to do crossovers and mashups with anybody who has a podcast. Seriously, and you can then hopefully capture some of our audience, and we can capture some of yours.
And I think we were willing to do that, because I know I could tell, because you were like, maybe we'll get some lunch, maybe we'll do some stuff. We went out of there. You literally like rolled past my house, told me to tuck and roll, and like took straight off. I mean, I was like, oh, he's not. I could tell.
I did not feel good. And when I got home, I felt worse. And then I thought I'd lay down, and it is what it is. But that's the first time I felt like a job.
Yeah.
And again, it didn't suck the fun out of it. I had fun when I came in here, and my energy started off real good. Unfortunately, the energy was gone then, just because of the way I felt, So I was like, I thought it came through in my voice. So, but that's history. But what I'm saying is that's the first time where this to me wasn't happiness,
It's weird. Do you find that? Like, I find after I do this, we talk for, sometimes 90 minutes, we edit it down, or sometimes we just do the full hour and it's what we put out. That my voice is like, it feels like I've worked.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like
maybe.
not like I'm bone tired from throwing stone like you were the other week, but just like I know some people that are performers, like singers, and they do a show every night, and they get new people in, and they like try to tell the new people like, look, that's your instrument, that is your tool. You could not just blow it out on like the first day and expect you're going to come back on. Yeah. Like you come out on a Friday, you do a show, and you think you're going to be fine, and then you have to do 2 shows Saturday, then a show Sunday, then come have Monday off, be back Tuesday. You'll burn it out quick, and I just didn't get it, and now I find like when we do these. I feel like, I don't know why, I just feel like conscious of how much talking this whole time, like directly, is like, wow, my voice feels tired at the end of this.
Yeah, I don't, I can go a lot of the day, even out in the heat, I'm out in the temperature, and not be chugging water and this and that, but I get in here and I need drinks of water. And I'm like, it's not, most of the time it's not hot in here, Mac. Most.
Fall is coming.
Here's a way.
This place is great in the winter.
Fall is coming. He's like, you think you're hot now. Wait till you get cold. Wait till you get cold.
Yeah. You can tell these walls are insulated, right?
But
this is fascinating material.
But that's what I'm saying. But I don't have to keep chugging water. But in here I do, and you're right because you're using your voice. I notice that too. Occasionally my voice never cracks during the day, but I don't talk that much in a row, regardless of what some people might think. I just don't, So and I noticed, what's weird too is I just did that and I caught it in my own ears because you know how high I have to have my microphone turned up so that I can feel like I'm participating.
You guys should be here. Damon's like a 1,000-year-old man.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Turn my cans up. When are you going to turn it up?
Yeah.
Turn my headphones up.
Yeah.
Turn them up. Yeah. They're all the way up, dude. I don't know what. They're at 11.
What's that? The Spinal Tap. They got it on 11.
Yeah, they're at 11.
But what's funny is I watch the when we edit, you'll see the spike. Yeah. So I know when I'm laughing because of the spike. It's the highest spike you'll get on there. And what's weird is you'll see your voice comes through about halfway between my regular voice and the spike from me laughing. Your voice just picks up. That's how it does it. So I keep telling him, like, why doesn't mine? He goes, it doesn't matter what that shows. I still make everything right. Other than his own voice.
Look at him over there like, what is this guy trying to explain? My job.
Yeah. Well, last week you got a brand new box that you showed me that mutes me, so you're probably not even listening to nothing right now. What are you... No,
I am once again asking for more vocals in my monitor.
Isn't that like a political guy?
Yeah, it's Bernie.
Oh, okay. But
that is you.
I do. I come in every week. I'm like,
Brian's like, what you hear in the headphones is not what goes out. He's like, I need more.
These guys take their headphones off and they can hear through mine when they're on my head. They're like, oh, I can hear through Damon's.
I mean, I get it. When you're in here, you do want to hear what you sound like so you can do it.
Right.
But there was a couple weeks ago, Brian can attest to this, that I heard the rough before. It was like, I don't know, was I not in the room? It sounded like it was the quietest or the lowest.
Yeah, well, that's why I said that.
And then when he put it out, it was like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah, well, because he cleans it up. This is just merely the avenue to get the sound into his computer and make it work. I get it. But
Podcasting 101 here on That Checks Out, everyone.
So if you're looking to open your own studio, first off, you're going to need a shower. Second off, you're going to need two of these magic talking boxes. What are these called again? Microphones? Okay, got it, Brian.
I thought you were talking about us. Yeah. I'm not a microphone. Oh, you meant the microphone.
Oh, but yeah. So I know when I see the spike, I'm like, that's me laughing.
Do you ever come in here where you look at that one and you're like, are we going to play Hangman?
Hangman? What does Brian do up here?
No, this microphone. He's always got one microphone where the stand's totally extended and the mic's not there, so it's just the cord hanging down. I'm always want to be like, W. Yeah. 2 L's. Yeah.
2 L's. I always guess my L's in twos.
Did you see Vanna walk by? No.
I don't know if he must do a podcast with like Shaquille O'Neal or something, because I know I see I think same thing. Where's this big chair that he sits in? Because
he sits on the stool. That's probably like a regular seat for him.
Both of them.
Yeah.
One ham hock on each stool. That's how he goes. That's how he sits.
That's what the shower's for, so you can wash off the icy hot when he's done.
I don't know if he'd fit in that shower. That shower seems pretty snug. Yeah,
that is true.
Shower. Hey, while the shower is very adequate and in very good condition and seldomly used, I feel the size. If I was giving it an actual rating, I feel like I would probably downgrade it because of its size. So maybe something to think about, Mac.
Was the shower here when you got the place?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, what was the thinking of, I'm building a podcast studio. I need to build a bathroom with a shower.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to rinse off afterwards.
'Cause I know where you're sitting used to be a kitchenette. Like, was this like a
Yes,
studio apartment for like a hobbit? Like what?
It was going to be an office.
With a kitchenette and a shower?
It was going to be a landlord's office because her main office is in Lombard.
Oh, it was a satellite office.
And yeah, so this was going to be a satellite office, and it never came to fruition. So she rented it to me.
Gotcha.
See.
Okay, this makes more sense then.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes more sense.
It literally felt like, hey, you know what? I hear that in the big cities, they can rent places like this to people.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to play in Joliet.
Last week, you guys had delicious coffee. What does the talent get to partake in this week?
I have a bottle of water.
I have my own water that I once again brought from home.
There's some champagne in the fridge.
Yeah, there's
champagne in the fridge?
caffeine-free Diet Coke that expired in January of 2020.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that. I checked that out last week because Brian offered it to me and I didn't take it. And I'm glad I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Way to step on your grocery list, Big Mac. Wow.
That hasn't always been in there, though.
Yeah,
right?
it has. It's
Has
been
it?
there since day one.
I guess I just blocked it out.
Wow. That's pretty. I stay out of the fridge.
There is
man.
mayonnaise. You want some mayonnaise? I know I don't
might.
want it.
I might. I'm a big mayonnaise guy.
Yeah. I'm not a mayonnaise kind of guy,
You
Damon.
can't say that. That's mine.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
can't. No, that's, you know what? Hey, just timestamp that. We're going to take that right off.
I
the record.
apologize.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What a toolbox. Hey,
Whatchamacallit?
Juice.
What was I going to say?
You're just throwing out everything I say.
No. I'm going to talk about this or that. So does that all you watch is like other people make money on reality shows or
No, but that was something that sparked my interest. I like doing the house stuff. I really do like watching
which
some of
ones you
those
like?
house
House
shows.
Flippers, The Property Brothers, Flip This House.
Well, I used to like Flip This House. That's an older show. That's not around anymore. But I liked those when those were on. My newest ones that I like probably are I don't know any specific. I don't like Property Brothers too much because like one of them's trying to flip the house, one of them's trying to put them in another house. You know, or they're doing
Well,
stuff
there's
like
also
that.
Love
And there's
It-
Love
Love
It
It
or
or
List It.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Which I don't buy that. I like to watch somebody. I like The Deed, which I don't think that's on anymore. I think it was
remember
only
that
2 or
one.
3 episodes. It was on, or 2 or 3 seasons. It was on MSNBC. And it's a guy from New Orleans. So that I can't follow it real good
Oh, I bet
because
he's had olive salad.
so the market down there I couldn't do anyway, and this and that I get it, but I do like stuff that is based more out of the Midwest. You know, where they're actually flipping houses that I don't want to see a $14 million mansion because I'm not going to have that. Like I like the Vanilla Ice Project.
Yeah.
I like that show.
There was a Chicago one, wasn't there?
There was Chicago, The Deed, and that guy was really good. But they were doing in the city, and they were. I mean, so
I thought
again,
that's like a demolition one or something. It was like it
I'm
was
not
a
sure.
woman host. I swear it was out of Chicago. Maybe it's Detroit.
Oh no! You are correct, and she's still doing it. I can't think of the name.
She
of
was
the
also
show.
to Detroit too at one point.
Yeah,
wasn't
but she's very good at what she does too. But again, they're buying
But they're
houses.
building about $1 million houses. Right?
They are, or they're buying $800,000 houses when they're done. They're worth $2.2 million. You know, and they put $1 million into it. So, no, the Deed. I like him. That's this guy Sydney or whatever from down there. He does stuff in Louisiana, but. The regular just flippers. Like I don't like that. Who's that? Joanna and her.
The Gaines.
Yes.
I don't like.
I don't.
I know that's going to be controversial, but I don't
they
like
have
them.
they have a great brand.
Yeah.
They have a great marketing thing. What they've done is phenomenal. But I even like. I think probably my favorite show I watch with the kids, First Time Flippers. And the reason I do that is because they literally take people in and they're like writing stuff over the screen. They're like, "Where's your safety glasses? Where's this? Where's that?" You know, they're decide they're going to bust up a tub and they grab the right angle crowbar instead of the sledgehammer that's like 4 feet from it.
Right.
You know, and they're swinging and they're like, "This is not safe." And then they're like, "Yeah, do you think?" You know, and they're writing stuff over it.
Right.
But what cracks me up is like none of them ever fail. Their failing is we sold the house mid flip, we can't do anymore, and we made $10,000. That's not a fail,
Right.
because you profited.
Yeah. When they learned too. They learned stuff.
You know, so I don't know that I always like the end result on that show, but I'd like to see a show where they actually.
You want to see
Flop.
people lose their pants?
Well, because they had Flipper Flop with
yeah.
Christina and Tarek,
Right.
and now they each have their own show. And my son is in love with Christina. And I'm like, okay, you know, she's
Let the kid have dreams.
she's about 30 years older than
Let
you.
him have his dreams.
Right. Well, hey, if I can get in that market, That's cool. You go find her, but you're 13 and she's like 35. So there's a little bit of difference there. But again, that's a California-based show. So your flips.
That's the thing when you watch like the House Hunters and they have people that are like in their early 20s and they're like, our budget is $2.1 million.
So that's what's funny is, and it's always like, especially the love it or list it or this or that, is they always have one of them wants one whole set of things. Like I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, loft overlooking the city. And the other guy's like, I want a 4-bedroom, 5-bath ranch house out in the with a pole barn.
Right.
And then the realtor's like, okay, cool.
Have you guys ever met?
Yeah.
Like the house is just coming out now,
and
right?
What does she do? Well, she's an entrepreneur, and I raise salamanders, and our budget's $2.7 million. And it's like, well, what? So, by the way, it has to have a stripper pole because she needs to practice for her entrepreneurship. It's like, what do you do? That's that. To be honest with you, I think
you want that story more.
We could make a whole show of that. That's what we should do.
Yeah,
we should be the aftermath and just be like, so what do you do?
Well, what drives me nuts, right? So they already have a budget of $2.1 million. Right. And there's pretend story we've told. They'll go see a house that is a house that I would love to have. It's $1.5 million,
and they consider a teardown.
Or they'll find another one that is not that great, but it's $750,000, and then they'll find one that doesn't have any of the qualifications from original thing, but it has something they didn't even think of. It's $2.6 million, and that's the one they choose. Like,
right.
That wasn't even in your budget, and they're like, it's a little over your budget, just $500,000 should be fine.
A little over.
Yeah.
That like 4 houses for us.
Yeah, they didn't like the one that was 1.8 was in their budget because the paint color was wrong. Or it was one block out of where they were looking.
Yeah.
You're just like,
Yeah. Unless there's a train track running through your living room, I think you're fine. But no, the same thing. But I want to know the backstory on most of those people.
True.
I really do.
I mean, I get the California housing market is ridiculous and it costs that much, but then like, where are the people getting the money to buy the houses?
Well, and so the other show now that I'm getting into where I want to be a realtor, have you ever seen $1 Million Listing?
Yes.
Okay. So the California one, they have a New York one or whatever, but the California one, and they got these Altman brothers that are on there and these other guys, and it's amazing. I mean, they're selling houses to the rich and famous, okay? And they're driving, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, Rolls Royces, and everything else up to these houses because that's what they drive for their personal car. And they live in these houses. But then I'm watching the commission. They showed the commission on the bottom for what they're making because the standard commission is 6%. So on a $25 million house, it's a pretty healthy commission.
Yeah.
You're over $1 million commission. It's pretty crazy. And so I start watching that, and I'm looking. I'm like, wow. It's like, well, I've been doing it 10 years now, and I'm like, 10 years, and you're making $1 million on a deal. And people are. I mean, it's crazy. And then they show all the construction in California, and then like same as you. They're like, okay, well, what we can get in your budget, and their budget's $7 million. Well, if you want in that budget, you're going to have construction all around you, and the roads are going to be tore up. And I'm like, for $7 million,
right? You could buy a town here for $7 million.
Yeah.
Well, I like what they do. Like, this is what you can get in California, and it's a postage stamp. This is what you can get in Illinois, and it's a decent house. This is what you can get in like Alabama, and it's like half the state. You're like,
right?
This is crazy,
right? But it is, and I'm watching it, and people are swinging these deals, and they're like, "Oh, I got a buyer from overseas. They got a house that's $48 million. I think it's one of the highest ones that I've seen them sell on there." And I'm just like, holy crap! And they're like, well, our buyer's from overseas, and well, he's a single guy. There's 14 bathrooms. There's 6 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms.
That's a whole fortnight. He can just put the lid down and.
So they had one the other day, and this was this $48 million.
Big guy got it.
See. So they went the other day, and this is the one with the 14 bathrooms. It had 21 toilets.
Oh, well, that's a fortnight and a week.
Yeah. So I started laughing.
Why are they doubling up?
Because they said it's an entertainment house. One of the bathrooms looks like if you're to go into a very fancy restaurant, because there's like 5 urinals
stalls
against the wall.
Oh.
There's 2 stalls. That's in this guy's house.
I mean, I could use that.
Yeah.
Because at least I would hopefully be able to go in and find one stall working.
Right. Yeah. All the lids are down.
All the lids are down. All the lids are down.
Who puts a lid on a urinal? How the hell does this happen?
And the drains are clogged. Wow.
But no, I like the house flipping shows. I do like the Forensic Files, which we kind of briefly mentioned last week when Brian was viciously murdering chickens.
I thought we were going to get past another. I thought we were a week without bringing that up.
But no, the Forensic Files. And I like because, well, I've mentioned it before with the Reclaim Your Name, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned it before, but it's always like the Forensic Files, they have a new season now that's out, I think. So like once a week they put on a new episode. But everything else is like from the 80s and 90s. So you're watching these people and you're like, well, of course you caught them. They didn't have DNA then, or they just started getting DNA.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you still got caught.
They hadn't invented DNA yet. That was the problem.
Yeah. But, and then I love, they're catching these people and they're like, well, the shoe print is from a Spalding and this and that. And I'm like, okay, so he's either poor or 87 years old. Who's the killer?
Right.
But they always end up pinpointing it because, it's a half-hour show. So when you go to last commercial break, you're like, I can't leave now because when they come back,
right,
I'm going to find out that this guy had nothing to do with it. And it's the guy that, it's this guy over here. And it's always the same thing.
Jim Flanagan's got a great bit about that, and I don't want to ruin it. I think it's only going to be on his album when it comes out. So check that out.
Yeah.
we will put it on our website once it comes out. We will link to it. It's a hilarious bit. But I wanted to say, like, I saw a meme this week that was about me watching Unsolved Mysteries announcer, and they never solved it. And me like, whoa. Hilarious.
Well, that was Unsolved Mysteries. That guy creeped me out.
Oh, that music. Robert Stack,
yeah. And he come out in the home, or out in the alleyway, and he's so
I thought he
real.
used to creep me out as the guy that originally did the Ripley's Believe It or Not, and he'd be like, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh God, I believe it. Whatever you say, man. I don't want to anger you. I believe it.
So I remember what we used to watch as a family. We'd watch the wife swap show where they, transplant one mother.
Oh, I'm familiar. I was just surprised you watched it as a family. Sure.
Yeah, we'd watch it as a family because you get the fitness guru would go over to, I eat Kentucky Fried Chicken every night for dinner.
The lady you saw at Flappy's last night or the other week, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
But we'd watch that as a family show. And then they come out with Celebrity. And that was so awesome. So we're watching one night, and I told my wife, I said, I want to see certain celebrities, get in here. Like, it'd be neat to see two like-minded celebrities and how they change. But they had like Bridget Nielsen and somebody else, and
if he dies, he dies.
Yeah. They should have had her switch with Ivan Drago's wife.
Yeah.
That's what they should have said. They should Dolph Lundgren.
You make fun
right?
of my husband, but he is training strongly.
But I said, even if they took people with the same first name, so if they would have taken back in the day, if they would have taken Steve Irwin and Stevie Wonder and switched them, okay?
All right.
I thought it would have been great because you'd walk in and you'd be like, man, Steve can't sing for shit, right? And you'd be like, yeah, but you can't turn it off because Stevie Wonder's about to wrestle alligators in a minute, and I got to see where this goes. You know what I mean?
Talk about crikey, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. It ain't going to be the Stingray that gets them, all right? So, but I just, like, these guys, they change and then their occupations. What? You holding in something?
Brian and I think Brian caught it faster than I did, but very disrespectful to Steve Irwin.
I'm sorry about your bad luck. Stevie Wonder's still alive, right?
Yes.
All right, so I'll apologize then. Steve Irwin's gone, so it's all good,
Timestamp this, Brian.
But I mean,
I had to go to Brian to did I hear that? I look at Brian, I'm like, yep, I heard that.
Think about it. You put that on during Shark Week. Nobody even turns on that channel. They're like, Stevie's going to wrestle crocodiles tonight. This is going to get real, So,
but you could hand him anything and he'd be like, that's not a knife. I don't know what it is.
Okay, so I'm the one that's wrong. It's me.
I didn't mark a
me.
man's death.
Yeah.
Just a man's lifelong affliction.
Wow. Okay. Maybe we should just talk about commercials or something then, because
I think I broke Damon.
The TV shows. I liked my premise, but then you really turned it around. We killed the poor son of a bitch. You don't even know what he's holding in his hand. That's not a knife. Okay. Do you want to know something? I've never said this before. I hate you, Ted. Now I know what it's like. Now I know what it's like, you jerk. Man.
That was totally worth
You know the best part?
the grief I'm going to take for that.
We're not editing out any of that silence.
That's all.
Any of
that's
that.
all in there.
Just so you know, the silence was actually me holding back the laugh, trying not to get it too much in the microphone, but it didn't work. So you're behind that premise. That might be the first thing I ever said that you're 100% behind. Is the whole Stevie?
I don't know if I'm behind
the
it.
whole
I'm just
Stevie
saying
flip.
that.
No Stevie flip on there.
No, I don't. Well, we can't because they're not. I mean, back then maybe, but one of them's dead. Well, this is where Steve would have tried to play the piano badly.
Right.
Yeah. You can't do it anymore.
Well, he's got a cobra on his shoulder. He's like, way to put a spin on it. And you'll see Stevie Wonder doesn't flinch at all when we put a cobra on his shoulder.
Wow.
Because he doesn't know.
Wow. You even lost Brian. You brought Brian in just to say he's out. I'm coming back to say I'm out.
Remember how we said we never go too far? False.
Well, I made it like at my workplace.
No. Oh, that's where we first learned though about the we watch some shows and people have like weird. We do too. If somebody comes in my house, I'm sure we have weird like idiosyncrasies for the family where people are like, you guys do that, you know? And that's where, and this was of course after Stevie or whatever, but right before the show ended, somebody had a weighted blanket, and so
Wait.
a weighted blanket. You
So, like,
familiar with that?
They had a really heavy responsibility to not sneeze.
Yeah. Can't do it on one. We deemed that possible a couple days ago. A couple shows ago.
Imagine that? Tossing like a weighted blanket over someone. I got you covered. Yes.
Just because I don't want to hear it anymore.
Yes. I have weighted blankets at home.
Okay, so my wife has one, and that's where we ended up getting one, or got the idea. We saw it, and they're talking about it, about how, oh no, it's a weighted blanket. It's weighted. I'm like, what the? They had one for the dog, and they had one for their kids.
I gotta smother a dog.
Right. Well, my kids throw
Dogs have trouble getting, like, you throw a regular blanket on a dog, it takes them like 20 minutes to find their way out.
Yeah.
A weighted blanket, you just see them like crawling their way.
So we had to buy one. So we bought one, and I will tell you that's the worst purchase I ever made. And we saw it on TV. She loves it. So you have one.
Oh, we have multiple ones.
And you like it? You sleep with it every night or no?
No, not now. It's 1 billion degrees.
Correct.
In the
She
winter,
does now.
Oh God, no.
No, granted, I keep the AC in my house. Now my bedroom's upstairs.
I do, but I run in my bedroom, so I produce enough humidity that you could. I bet Steve Irwin would feel welcome in
Similar to the chairs in this. In this.
there. Are
in
there
this
crocodiles in here? No.
Don't ask Stevie Wonder. You won't know. Yeah. But no, we keep it very cold in the house. She uses it now. She likes the feeling. I can't stand it.
I just wanted to see if it would help me because
Do you have like restless leg or
I
anything?
wanted to see if it would keep my legs from moving at night.
And does it?
No.
No. Well, how heavy is your blanket? Nicole has a 22-pound blanket.
What color is your parachute?
Whoa. No, Nicole has a 22-pound weighted blanket.
I was going to say 17
No,
pounds.
it's one of the
is a joke.
biggest
I
weighted
had no
blankets I could
idea.
I was
get.
going to say, are you sure it's not for like x-rays?
Yeah, it's one.
Did you get that from like a hospital like resale store? Hey guys, we're trying to do an x-ray in here. Has anyone seen the blanket?
It says St. Joe's on it. What does that mean? Yeah, sponsorship. But no.
Can kryptonite get through it?
Yeah.
My God.
Well, I tell you what can't get through it. A husband who's in the mood. So it's definitely it's
that
a force
checks out.
field. It's a force field. Yeah. But what I'm telling you is that I can't stand it to be on me or touching me. I don't like it at all.
You don't even want it touching you? I can
No.
feel it.
It's warm.
I can feel it.
It's like it like has its own equator. The thing's like freaking hot. It's terrible. It's
Well, what
terrible.
we talked about since my back surgeries and stuff, my nerve damage. Like I don't run as hot as I used to, which is
Okay.
weird for me.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I was like, "Is this what people talk about when they're always complaining their feet are cold?" Like this was a weird concept to be like in my mid 40s and be like, "What is this?"
I've never had
I
cold
don't-
feet
I
or
don't like
cold
it.
hands.
I don't
People
like
get
it.
that.
Yeah.
Is that a circulation thing though?
I don't recommend it. I don't know what it is. I just know it sucks.
Yeah. So
It
you
used to
have
not
it now.
I do. Like, not all the time, but there'll be times when I'll be like, I don't like this.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding. Well,
It's
that might
weird.
be, is that with the weight loss though too? Maybe.
Possibly. Yeah.
You know, you're rebuilding your structure.
I used to
there,
just be
dude.
like walk around in Speedos and be like, wow, that's 1 billion degrees.
Well, none of us like that either. So,
Yeah.
thanks for the suspenders though. That made for some awesome tan lines, right?
Got to keep those up.
But no, we'd watch. We watched that. We bought one of those. And like for me, when we watch shows, we don't watch commercials. Do you watch commercials?
I honestly don't have regular TV anymore.
Really? So what do you do, like Hulu and stuff, or what?
Yeah, it's all streaming.
Okay. And there's no commercials in that?
No, we pay for the Prime or the premium Hulu, so there's no commercials in that. There is something that has commercials that we have. There's something that has commercials.
See,
it drives me nuts.
I was gonna say I usually DVR everything, like we've talked about before. I DVR it and then I fast forward through the commercials. So I don't see this stuff anymore unless I'm watching a sporting event or something like that. Then I watch it live. But otherwise, I don't watch commercials. So when I see a good commercial, it cracks me up. My kids will be watching TV in the morning before I'm leaving or this or that, and they went on the other morning where the guy said it was about waffles. The waffles were so good that he cut a bite, and his wife was sleeping. He walked in the bedroom with waffles dripped with syrup and shoved a big bite in her mouth. And she woke up chewing and smiling and said, "Oh, that's a good waffle." Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, I'd be punched right in the throat.
Not only that, but if the waffles are that good, are you going to tell her?
I should have known this is where it was going.
Are you going to tell her?
That's on me, Brian.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I know you. You're going to put it in the outside freezer.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell her. Where's the waffles? They're gone. They weren't that good. I threw them out. No, I'm not going to tell her.
Right.
You know? So, and I'm sure as hell not going to wake her up and be like, do you smell waffles? No, you don't smell waffles. No, you don't see it, you know? That was the dumbest thing I could imagine.
I dropped a log cabin. I'm sorry. I spilled some syrup. I apologize.
I dropped a log cabin. I cut down the tree out back, and we have a maple issue. But no, that's the part of that I found to be false, because I would never be like, these are so good. I want to have to share these moments from now.
And not even like share them with someone who is across the table from you, to walk it up and literally like smother someone in their sleep with a fork full of waffle.
Right. That's an episode of Forensic Files.
Yeah, she's either going to really like this or I'm getting a new wife.
She shouldn't have slept on her back. She was taste testing the waffles in her sleep and it didn't work, you know?
She doesn't usually sound like that when she snores. She should be fine.
Imagine that one. Well, we thought that she was strangled till we found a huge bite of waffle in her windpipe. You know? And the guys over there at the plate like, these ain't waffles. You know? These ain't good at all. These ain't waffles. But yeah, maybe I look at things
We're going to
different.
title that episode Egosophagus.
Hey, business idea.
Uh-oh.
Should we do something
Sleep
like
waffles?
that? Sleep waffles. You wear
A weighted waffle.
You wear it around your neck like Flavor Flav, and you just pick it up and eat it every now and then. But hey,
well, you know how those weighted blankets have they look like little squares.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I mean it's just a waffle.
Nicole wakes up freezing.
That's what I'm saying. When you finished it, that's when it's time to wake up, because you're just chewing on
I'm
it.
still chewing. Do you know where my blanket went? No. Pass me that bottle of syrup and just start shotgunning it.
Yeah, the waterbed made out of syrup. This is the stickiest bed I've ever been in. We have lost our damn mind.
How did Stevie Wonder die?
No, why are we back on Stevie Wonder?
In the bed of Mrs. Butterworth's.
No, this sounds like a Clue game from hell.
Yeah. They did it in the bedroom with Mrs. Butterworth's. Wow. Oh, wow. That hurt a little bit.
Well, it's going to hurt some people, I'm sure.
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, I definitely wouldn't eat them outside in 100-degree temperature either. So I'm not going to eat waffles or pancakes outside.
So you're not in my business plan, the Flappies?
Yeah.
You know, have you ever been to those restaurants where you can cook your own pancakes? They have some outside of Nashville. You ever been there, Mac?
You can cook your own pancakes?
Yeah, they put like a griddle. Do you have a grill like this where it's like a flat griddle where you can just cook stuff on a flat surface?
I've never heard of one of those.
No.
Never heard of one of those. If I had one, I'd invite you over.
They have one near Nashville called the Funky Griddle. With the PF, I think.
I
think funky is what's spelled with a PF. But they bring out like squirt bottles of batter, so you can make your own designs and cook your own. I'm thinking, let's have an outdoor one. It's just heated by the power of the sun. We call it Outdoor Flappies. Because apparently you already know the clientele. You passed them last week on your way in. So the people are out there that are willing to do it.
I'm going to tell you what. It was hot last week.
Yeah.
It was hot. So, wow. Yeah. No, I don't. First off, we talked about I don't eat any food outside if I can avoid it.
I'm not an outside eater myself. No.
No, we used to go out. Well, when I was younger, we used to go out to the beach, especially for like 4th of July. We'd be out there all day.
Yeah.
So you're grilling, you're having this, you're having that. But it's like, it's so hot. You're sticky. You're gross. And it's like, let's enjoy a meal. No, I'm not.
Yeah, the only
hungry.
the only thing enjoying a meal when you're outside are the bugs eating you.
Yeah, the
While
mosquitoes.
you're trying to eat your food.
The mosquitoes. So.
Yeah,
But-
and every salad that you like, the potato salad or the macaroni
Oh, yeah.
salad, that's all like spoiled.
It's got footprints in it.
Yeah, it didn't smell like this when we started. It should be fine. Should be fine.
We should have put that in the cooler. It's 8 o'clock at night.
The cold fruit is all hot. Like the watermelon gets all mealy and stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
I was going to say, warm fruit is like a big pet peeve of mine. I can't stand room temperature, like if it's been out too long.
Yeah.
And it stinks because sometimes if people put it out ahead of time where you can have it as like an appetizer,
Yeah.
okay, like a fruit tray, that's cool. When they put it out with the main food, first off, I don't want all that juice and stuff in the other food I'm eting. You know what I mean?
I don't want you all for your juice touching my food.
Yeah. Well, and I don't want a hot plate with
Right.
cold, So then later on, you're right. I'd like to go back, maybe a piece of watermelon or a piece of honeydew or something you wouldn't normally just go by and cut up at home because it's right there. You're like, oh,
Right.
cool.
That's why. Have you ever been to a buffet? They put it in a tray on top of ice.
Not anymore.
Don't hurt my feelings. But I'm saying, like, if
Not
it's someone's
anymore.
house, it's just out on the counter somewhere, and you've been chatting, you've been having fun, you've been doing stuff. You walk by, and you're like, no,
Yeah.
because the cantaloupe turns a darker orange.
Correct.
The watermelon like shrinks. It turns into like a watermelon raisin.
Yeah. Well, and there's like all the water from the melon is in
Yeah.
the bottom of the bowl. And you're like, oh, that's no good. So, and that's bummer because you can't put it in the fridge and reclaim it.
Right.
It's done.
Yeah.
So there's a shelf life for that. Same with I won't say a cheesecake. It don't last long enough at my house. But
Like you've seen leftover cheesecake?
no, but certain
Pies.
certain pies. Certain pies, when we have cheesecake too, because there's not enough room for me to eat both. But certain pies, same way. It's like, like apple pie. A lot of people like it warm. I actually like it really cold.
Well,
me
the thing is, if you
personally.
cook it really warm and you cut that first piece, that first person gets a golden piece. Everyone else, like the two, like where it's missing,
It's gone.
It
Right.
just slides out into
Yeah.
the pan.
Yeah.
And that one spot is just like a goop salad.
Well, it's like when you buy a pizza and they don't cut it good enough. Because I cut mine at home. They're like, Dad, it's cut. I'm like, just hold on.
Yeah.
Because if somebody
We do that a
grabs a
lot, too.
piece and you get half the cheese,
Or you just get like the naked piece, and the other person gets like cheese they can wrap around underneath.
Right. What-
Like, where did you get that extra cheese?
and when the naked piece is a corner piece, like the small one,
Oh yeah.
that's gross. It's just crust.
Which for those of you not in the Chicago area, that's called the tavern or the pub cut, where it's cut into squares.
Yeah,
The
that's
best kind of pizza there is.
That is the
fight
way-
Me.
yeah.
You can at me on that. I don't care. At ted.wilson 2 L's.
Yeah, why do you have the second L in there?
Because the first one is invisible. The third one is silent.
Vanity. Yeah. I'm up to a baker's dozen.
I got a bunch of invisible L's in there.
I'd like to buy an L, please.
You keep
those are
knocking them out,
vowels.
I just move one down.
This has been a little fun talking about reality TV.
I think it's been a little like off theme for us, but we got to change it up every now and then. It can't be the same stuff every week.
Well, and Stevie Wonder's still alive, so I think you owe an apology.
God.
I think you owe an apology.
I don't. You know, you're probably right.
You do.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say anything wrong, but you owe him one.
I will write him an apology immediately.
Yeah. I love being mean to Stevie Wonder. This is so much fun.
Because he never sees it coming. This has been That Checks Out. I am probably the last time you're ever going to hear from me, the sidekick Ted Wilson. That's our star of our show, Damon Baracchio, the man with all the tools and equipment and all the stuff that makes it sound great, except for the content. That's on us. Brian, Big Mac over there. This has been That Checks Out from Audiohive Podcast Studio. We'll see you next week.
You won't see anybody.
All right, Stevie.